Hi guys! I hope all is well. This is the second recipe of my matcha black sesame series, and today we're going to be making small batch matcha black sesame rolls. They feature a matcha shokupan-inspired dough with black sesame filling and a matcha glaze. These are a small batch recipe of only 6 rolls that is perfect for when you're craving something subtly sweet. The rolls are super soft with a strong matcha flavor, and the black sesame filling is not super sweet. So let's hop right into the recipe. We're going to start off by making the dough. In a small bowl or measuring glass, add 40 grams of granulated sugar, a half a teaspoon of instant yeast, and 60 grams of warm milk. I use soy milk here, but any milk works too. Then, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to allow the yeast to activate. For proper yeast activation, I like to make sure my milk is at 105 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. After about 7 minutes, my mixture started to bubble and look like this. That's how you know you have proper yeast activation. Next, in the smaller bowl of a stand mixer, add 200 grams of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of matcha powder, which is about 7 grams, an egg, and our activated yeast mixture. Since this is a small batch, make sure to use the small bowl of your stand mixer. I used the large bowl here, but as you'll see, there wasn't enough dough, so the dough hook couldn't properly incorporate the dough, so I had to switch to the smaller bowl. Then, you're gonna fit your stand mixer with the dough hook. Mix the ingredients together on speed 2 until they form a dough. You'll want a slightly sticky dough, so you may need to add more milk. I had to add about 10 more grams of milk to my dough. Once your dough is combined, start adding your cubed room temperature butter 1 or 2 cubes at a time, waiting until each cube is fully incorporated before adding more butter. Quick hack to using the small bowl. I like to prop up my bowl with a few books to ensure the dough hook reaches the bottom of the bowl. So while I love keeping my books in mint condition, I also love when my small batch dough can incorporate completely. Once all your butter has been added to the dough, knead the dough on speed 2 for 15 minutes. Your dough should now be pretty elastic. Now, take your dough and form it into a ball. Then, place it back into your bowl, cover it with a damp cloth, and allow your dough to take a nap for an hour in a warm place. As mentioned in my karopi steam bun recipe, I like to preheat my oven for a minute or 2, then turn off my oven and allow my dough to sit in there. While your dough is off to sleep, let's make the black sesame filling. It's super simple. Start off with 90 grams of ground black sesame. I freshly ground mine because I like the fragrance of it, but feel free to use black sesame powder. Then, add 60 grams of granulated sugar and 12 grams of honey, mixing until combined. Finally, add 1 tablespoon of water, mixing again until combined. And there you have it, a super simple and delicious black sesame filling. Once an hour is up, your dough should be expanded to about twice its original size. Give it a punch to release the air. We'll then split the dough into 6 pieces. Now, on to my favorite part, shaping the rolls. With each piece of dough, roll it into a rectangle of about 3 inches by 4 inches. Spoon on about 2 tablespoons of filling and spread it into an even layer. Then roll the dough into a log. To make the cool swirl pattern, cut the dough through the longer length, leaving about half an inch uncut at the top. It's okay if your cut is not straight, because then you'll take your 2 pieces and start twisting them. If you don't feel like making the swirl, you can also make these into cinnamon roll-like rolls. Count how many times I say rolls in this video, by starting with 1 large dough ball. You would roll your dough into a rectangle, spread the filling, make 1 large dough log, and slice some rolls from there. Once you have 6 rolls, place them on a baking sheet and cover them for 15 minutes to rest once again. While the dough is resting, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once 15 minutes is up, bake these for 13 to 17 minutes or until the bread starts turning golden brown in color. Now comes the hardest part, waiting for your freshly baked rolls to cool completely. While we're waiting, let's make the glaze. In a small dish, mix together 1 teaspoon matcha, 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and 2 teaspoons of milk. Once your rolls have cooled, drizzle the glaze onto the rolls and allow the glaze to dry. Not gonna lie, I couldn't wait for the glaze to dry completely before trying the rolls, so don't worry if you can't resist the temptation to take a bite now. But that's it! Your matcha black sesame rolls are now finished. These are so yummy, and you should definitely give these a try. For the unfinished rolls, store them at room temperature for 1 to 2 days or in the fridge for up to 5 days. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a comment if you ever make these. If you want to see more matcha black sesame recipes, subscribe to stay tuned for a full week of recipes with this flavor combo. Thank you again, and until next time.